The incident that caused me to shift my life was my third failed marriage. I got married a third time, but I was searching for love. I wanted to be married, I wanted love, but it just seemed like I was searching for love in all the wrong places because I never got it right. So my marriage to my third husband was very abusive. It was like I was walking on eggshells. This man, I couldn't do nothing right, and he was always abusing me, if he felt like his dinner wasn't right, or if I didn't say something right, or, whenever my kids wasn't there, or whenever we was in the bedroom closed up, he would never abuse me in front of my kids, but whenever he felt like we were alone, like he was a coward, but, and for me, it's funny because, when I was a teenager, I was such a aggressive person. I would fight in a minute, and then here I am in this abusive relationship, and I'm trying to hide it from my family and not tell anybody, and being abused, even at work. He would come on my job and abuse me. So it got so bad till one time I was so mentally distraught. I was getting ready for work, and I was going to work, and I was driving and not really paying attention because my mental state wasn't there, and I almost got in an accident where I was, I would have been fatally killed, But God was so gracious to me, I'm so thankful to him, I went to a battered women's shelter. I didn't tell my kids, I didn't tell my family, I didn't tell anyone. From the battered women's shelter, I went all the way to Oklahoma to a friend. And my husband, he found out where I was and called and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not gonna do that again, I'm changed, I'm not gonna." But I was like, "Carol, what are you thinking, girl? You done left your kids, I'm trying to run away, get away from this abuse, and I left my kids." I said, "Oh my God," and put my children in danger. So when he called, I said, "Okay, well, I gotta get back to my kids, I gotta, I went back, and the abuse started again, it was all totally a lie. So I prayed and I said, "God, you got to give me the strength. I can't keep on being abused and, being mistreated." And so I finally took my kids and packed up and left, And he would call and say it's the same little story, like, "Oh, that, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me." I said, "Oh no, I'm sorry. That won't work. Not this time. This is it, I got a divorce, and so once I was divorced, I said, "Lord, I want to change. I don't want to be in Louisiana anymore. I want a whole new environment. I want to start over." And so I was working as a paralegal for the Attorney General's office in New Orleans, and so my friend said, "Carol, I'm moving to Washington, D.C. She said, "Would you like to relocate with me?" I said, "Sure." And my family, now they be asking me, "Well, how did you get way out there to D.C.?" But I wanted change. I wanted a whole different, environment, a whole different life. Even though I had, been in the Air Force and I had seen part of the world, but I needed something different then, in my life. So I packed up my clothes and packed up my, like I said, my daughters were all married. So my son, he was in Grambling in college. So I came out here, I was by myself for a while. Grambling lost their accreditation, and I told my son, "Oops, you got to go. You got to come to Maryland, because he didn't want to come out here. He wanted to stay in Louisiana. I said, no, Grambling done lost their accreditation. You got to pack it on up, son, and roll on down here to Maryland. So me and him was out here, and it was so much better. I was in a new environment. I was able to travel. Me and him would go to Philly, go to New York, go to Virginia. I'm just saying, oh yeah, I just was enjoying life, and I was able to focus on what I love, and that's the ministry, preaching God's word, because I love preaching His word. I love reading the Bible. I love, just doing God's will. So I was free to do that. So I was just ecstatic about that. I started traveling with my brother across the country. We was giving conferences in Delaware, Alabama, Mississippi, so I was just, wow, thank you, Jesus. I got my life back, so I was really happy about that. So that's the incident that made me change my life, because, nobody deserves to be abused. I failed at marriage 3 times, because in my childhood, my mom was abused by my dad, and he was very abusive. He was totally like a monster to me, I just hated him. He would beat her like a man. And he would knock her down the steps. He hit her in the head with an ashtray, bust her head wide open. I mean, he just would beat her like she was a man, and for me, I felt like, I'm not gonna let nobody do that to me, and I'm not gonna, if they do one thing wrong, I'm out of there, because just living as a child, as a kid through that kind of trauma, not knowing the next day if your mom gonna live, because you seeing your dad beat her like she's a man, and I really hated him, and I showed him that, because like I said, when I was a teenager, I was nothing to beat. I was, what they say these kids out here, they rough, I was rough. You touch me, I'm gonna beat you down. That's why when I had this third marriage and I let this man do this to me, I'm like, how? Because you just touch me and I'm ready to fight, because I was just that angry, that mad, and so I just wanted love, but looked like every time I would get married, my first husband, he was spoiled. He was the baby. I'm the oldest, so I was really responsible. We had our lights cut off, our rent not paid. I'm like, nah, this ain't, I can't. And then the second one, he was controlling. He would, they had this new, the landlines where you can change your phone, where you, can, send your calls to a different phone. So he would change the phone where I couldn't get calls from my family, no friends. Yeah, he cheated on me, For me, I didn't know what love looked like, because in my world, from a child, marriage and love was chaotic, and, it was never because in our household, in my childhood, my dad, he was a weekend drunk. He was an alcoholic. And so during the week, the house was like a chilling jail cell. Nobody talked, nobody laughed, nobody played games, it was, so for me, growing up, I didn't know emotions. And, I didn't know how to share emotions. So a lot of that might have played into those marriages too, because my child upbringing, it was just chaotic. No love, no emotions, no, I mean, like during the weekdays, our house was just quiet, and on the weekend it was, a fist fight, and so I really didn't know what love was or what to expect, because I didn't have that, I didn't see that, I didn't know that, so it was just like, but I was searching for that. I want to have a loving, kind, gentle relationship, but that didn't happen for me. I found love in reading my Bible and giving my life to Christ. I feel that love because I feel God's presence, his warm arms around me and how he speaks to me, and that is just a wonderful feeling, to know that Christ calls you a friend, and to know that he loves me enough to use me, to his glory. That's warm love, that I never had as a child, I never had in a marriage, but I feel that love that God gives to me, and it's wonderful, and I'm just so grateful, that I've had that opportunity to know what love is, because Jesus Christ is love, and that's what I hope that somebody that would see, that Christ is love that's just undescribable. It's joy, it's peace, it's just so much happiness in it, And so I just thank God for sparing my life, because, the man could have killed me, abusing me, So many people lose their lives, but God was gracious enough to let me break free from that situation, and I thank him for letting me feel his love. My life now is just amazing, because I'm retired after working 40 plus years. And I'm able to travel the country and, go wherever I want to go, when I want to go. And I'm just enjoying just that quality time that I have with Christ too, because I can give him more time. And I love reading his word. I was telling my son and my daughter-in-law that I read the Bible and I study it, but you can read something one time and then you go back and you see something else in there, so it's been so much, I've been enjoying this time of reading it. I've even had where in the back of my Bible, where you can read your Bible in a year and map out the scriptures that you can read, and I've been enjoying doing that. And it's things that I've read before, but I've been getting some real nuggets out of the Word, going back over those scriptures again. So life is good. It's really great, I'm just excited to see what God has in store for me and what's next, and what's the next level that he's going to bring me to, but right now it's just amazing. So I'm enjoying it. With the women that I meet around the country, like my daughters, I've been underwriting for them, and we've met some amazing women across, the country. We've given these amazing events, empowering women events, and gospel explosions to close out those events. And it's just been great to meet all these amazing people across the country, so God is true. I learned about myself that I'm not a person that'll give up. No matter what the obstacles, I'm gonna push through them. No matter how hard it seems, I'm gonna climb that hill, go over that. I'm gonna, like they say, don't ask God to move that mountain out the way. You can just ask him to help you to climb over it. Well, that's me, And I celebrate just the joy that I have, you know. I'm just, right now in my life, I think on social media, I told them I'm living my best life. Because that's where I feel, you know, because I just have that joy. I have my wonderful kids that love me and, you know, take very good care of me. So I just, you know, I just feel like, wow, this is just amazing, the space that I'm in now, you know. But I thank God for life the way it is right now. I'm really enjoying life. Now, I'm not going to say I don't have, everybody has ups and downs, but life is good. It's good. No, I just want to say that, you know, to women, be good to yourself because you're worth it.